Yeah. We live. Okay. We live. All right. So this is what I'm gonna do, right? I'm just gonna browse and have some fun on the metaverse. Okay. Gonna have some fun on the metaverse. Let me see what Vlad is talking about. Cause I wanted to see some of Cool to B stuff. Like honestly, like out of all the people, I was like, yo, I gotta see Cool to B because Cool to B was in jail for a while and I haven't gotten his whole story. So let me see. On Gunner's plea deal. Um, boom. Yeah, Yayo still on Vlad and being by Latin Kings. Okay. Oh, and he got Dennis Rodman too. Okay. So it's a lot to watch. Whoa, there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, it goes back. Yo, Vlad be dropping a lot on the daily. It's been like 5 days and it's so hard to find why he pled guilty for keep shooting. Okay. Cause I watched some, so I just want to start from what I haven't seen yet. Cool to be on Takashi 69 cooperating saying he offered him. Okay, let me see. Whoa. Yeah. Kidnap and rob, dissing, shooting. Okay. All right, we will start from here. Let's watch this one.
It's time for me to get set up for therapy, and I use this room as my office. But the desk is over here. And so when I'm seated at the desk, this is the background. I have my therapy session, which is virtual.
Oh, hell
And
no.
I find
Stop
myself
it. Bye.
Okay, well, that incident happens, but that happened in June, but no one gets arrested at that point because the wheels are still churning in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then on July, Takashi gets beaten up and robbed and kidnapped early in the morning after doing the Fifi video with Nicki Minaj and Murder Beats. So according to reports, he's coming back. He gets kidnapped. The robbers eventually took like $750,000 and $35,000 in cash. At one point, he managed to escape, and he was taken to the hospital. I guess he called the police and everything else like that. But his driver, George Rivera, was actually an FBI informant for the past year. So he called the police himself.
He did.
And reported on what actually happened.
He did.
When you heard about the kidnapping situation, what did you think?
I thought it was staged.
Oh, really?
I still think it's staged, for real.
Well, I mean, people went to prison for it, so I don't think it was staged.
I still think it's staged, for real.
Really?
Still think it's staged. Free them people that went to jail for that, but I think it's staged. I don't know.
It was crazy though.
When I seen it though, I'm like, oh shit getting serious.
Well, but the footage came out. Remember, like the audio, because I guess the driver had a recording device.
Yeah, I had that. I was locked out. I had all of that.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. Yeah, no. I mean, I've seen the footage myself.
Yeah.
So you already have informants in the mix and everything else like that. It's getting messier and messier. And then in November of that year, Tekashi does the Breakfast Club interview.
Yeah.
And he basically disses all the dudes like Shoddy and them around him and called them dirty and so forth. When you heard that, what'd you think?
I'm like, damn, what the fuck going on? I told you I don't know behind the scene things. So I'm like, damn, shit crumbling. What's going on? Shit's crumble for real.
Okay. Am I interested in watching more of Kuda B? Let's see. We're gonna give him another chance. It seems like he don't say too much. Uh, Getting kidnapped. This and shoddy. I could just fast forward to when he took the charge or when he went to jail. Okay, yeah, let's look at that.
Were you and Tekashi still like talking and being friendly during this whole time after the whole shooting incident? Before the Breakfast Club thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We was cool.
And how was Tekashi's overall mindset during that time?
Shit. I was still fuck with him. I ain't know what was going on, so I'm still fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
Then like I think like a few days later, got grabbed up, some shit like that.
Well, yeah, the Breakfast Club interview happened on November 16th. On November 18th, everybody starts getting arrested.
Grab, yeah. He
got arrested. Shotty got arrested. 3 other people got arrested. Tekashi got charged with RICO, firearms charges, conspiracy to murder, and armed robbery, and he was facing life in prison. They were also saying that he was part of the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods.
Yeah.
You weren't arrested at that point.
Mm-mm.
But when you heard that, and did you know Shotty and all those other dudes, or was that really kind of?
I met him.
But you weren't trying to really fuck with them like that.
No.
Right, and you weren't a 9 Trey Blood yourself.
He was
so
cool though. Shotty cool. They cool. I
met Shotty before. Me and Shotty were texting each other.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Shotty's
it's not
cool.
like they cool here.
Vlad always lets you know that he is in as well. Vlad always tells you, yeah, we was cool. We was playing an interview. We was texting. I had his number. Yo, we met. He pulled up in a Lamborghini. I pulled up in a Lambo. Vlad always wants you to know, listen, man, I'm in the culture. Like, I'm tied in. Oh, man.
So, but not like we hang out with each other.
You're not part of that clique.
No.
Right, exactly. So now Tekashi's locked up. A bunch of the 9 Trey dudes are locked up. And it looks crazy from the outside. By February, Harv gets indicted for kidnapping and assault for the whole situation, after the Fifi shoot. And at this point, Tekashi actually starts cooperating with the police, with the feds.
Mm-hmm.
When you heard that he was cooperating, what did you think?
I first heard that, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Because I told him, they were saying free him. I'm writing some of his family members, telling them, like, when they talk to him, tell him, pull me out. Then it's like, damn, fuck. Or shit crazy. Wake up call.
On February 1st, Tekashi actually pled guilty
to
all 9 charges. And one of the things that he included in his plea deal was the ordering of the shooting at Chief Keef. And he said that he offered you $20,000 to do the shooting.
Mm. He ain't offer me none.
He didn't offer you anything?
No.
Did he pay you anything after the fact?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Zero?
Zero.
But then in February, you get arrested.
Hold on, man. I mean, you know what? That's what you're supposed to say, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Talk about the actual arrest and everything else like that. Did you see it coming, or was it a total shock?
Hell no, that shit was a shocking. I was about to sign the asylum that week.
You were about to sign the asylum records.
Hell yeah, I was about to sign low key. I ain't even telling nobody.
So this was about to be the height of your life.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I caught that. Somebody text me the shit. Ding. I'm like, oh, fuck is this? It's like he cooperated, about the shoot, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna run for the feds.
What, you found out about the indictment before it happened?
Yeah, no, I found out that morning when it happened. They unsealed it, and I guess when they left court, it's all over TMZ and everything. Now I'm indicted. That's how I see it.
Oh, they unsealed the indictment before actually
Yeah,
arresting
I'm
you.
on a supersede indictment.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm on a
Okay.
supersede, so
Recordings
Yo.
just got better.
That's crazy. Yo, 6ix9ine. That whole moment, it was like a big shocker. Like, even though you could have imagined that he was going to tell, it was still like he was playing that role so well. Blood, 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 blood. That's all 6ix9ine did, man. Scream blood, 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 blood. Yo, how that man go from screaming blood, blood on every interview to not saying it at all? Now you know how 6ix9ine talk. You know what's crazy? This is how 6ix9ine talks now. Hablo y tú te piendes en que repinte, papampinte, chupira, sapira, mexicano, incentera, bobira, por palo. He went from blood, 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 blood to Mexicano, no. Crazy, man. I'm telling you, bro. Crazy. Let me see. On could be on Fed inmates having 30 days to present paperwork. On gain census after Tekashi 6ix9ine. Okay, we can watch that.
Okay. Well, by October of 2020, Tekashi's already out and getting back to his old ways. You're still on bond, but this is in the middle of COVID, and there's social distancing parameters and everything else like that. I guess a video came out of you having a party at your apartment.
It wasn't a party. It just, they seen it. I told you. That's what I told, like I told my lawyer, I can't stop everybody. Y'all posting this shit public. I got a big ass case. Everybody gonna know I'm home. They knew I was home. They pulled up. Somebody made a mistake, recorded me, went how I went.
Right. The person who recorded you, was that a friend of yours, or?
Yeah.
Are you mad at that friend right now?
Nah, I ain't but mad. I don't live with regrets, you heard?
Okay.
I just learned from my mistakes.
Right. Well, because of that video, the judge, Paul Engelmayer, he called what you were doing in the alleged party an astonishing stunt.
No.
And because of that, he sent you right back to prison. I was to jail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was gonna go back regardless.
How much time did you have that you were supposed to have if that didn't happen?
Nah, I copped out to 46 to 57 months. Right,
but you were on bond.
Yeah, I'm on bond though. So I already copped out. I gotta go back regardless to do some time. I gotta get sentenced to do this time.
Yeah.
And my plea was they cannot go higher or under the guidelines. So I was gonna get 46 to 57 months regard something through there. So it's like I was mad at my mans. I was mad. Like, what the fuck? They were trying to send me back 24 hours. I'm like, no, not even 24 hours. I'm like, I wasn't even home for 24. They're trying to send me back.
But how much time would you have had out if that never happened?
Oh, if that would never happen, I probably would have had out a little longer. I ain't gonna I'm gonna say the whole 2020 I'd have been out because I went in October. I probably would have been out the whole 2020, so probably to win in 21.
Two more months.
Yeah.
Three more months.
Yeah.
Because of that video, you're now back in custody again.
Yeah.
And then by October of that year, you end up getting sentenced.
Yes.
And
that's when I went in custody. That's when I went in.
Exactly. Now, you spoke before the sentencing?
No.
Actually occurred or after?
No. During sentencing, I spoke.
During sentencing, right. And what you said was, I allowed myself to look up and listen to someone with far more success and fame. That was not the right thing to do. I regret it, and it won't happen again. I thought he was a good friend. I was excited that he named a song after me. I didn't realize there were guns in the video until watching it. I immediately let him know I don't attend videos with guns. I have kids that are inspired by me.
It's a fact.
I know it made no sense for me to do what Tekashi asked when I had been working in anti-violence. I also had long talks with older men that's been serving life sentences since their teens. I thought about my father that's been in and out of jail my whole life. I said to myself, I don't want to be like this man or my father. This situation hurt me. I haven't seen my grandmother who raised me in a long time. She has surgery in both her eyes. I don't want to be away from my family any longer. Did that speech help your sentencing at all or no?
Well, I could say it probably did. I don't know. I don't feel like it did. No cap.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it did. I got 54 months. I was over 57. So it's like
It just
3
is
more
what it
months.
is.
If you want to say that, it did. It did. It did. If you want to say that, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, do you feel like the judge was fair, or do you think he gave you a hard time?
I ain't gonna front. I really think that judge fair, you heard? Because I came home on COVID, got in trouble the next day. He still let me stay out for like 6 more months. He still let me stay out. I'm like, all right, word. I felt like he was easy on me because he know like I ain't really have nothing to do with this shit. I'm just an add-on to the case.
Or hey guys.
And just what do you think?
Yo, it'd be crazy when you watch guys and they say the judge is fair when the judge gives them like 3, 4, 5 years, like da. Then you be like, they did it. Because if you went did it and you was innocent, you know what you should be saying? How's he fair? I'm innocent. All right. Only reason why you weren't tripping over the time the judge giving you is because you know you did it. That's why you weren't tripping. I saw one with academics. I guess academics were saying Cool to Be was paid or something like that. Oh man, I gotta find that one. Oh yeah. There we go. Okay, let's see. No,
Well,
Ak and
talking about Tekashi.
Ak and Tekashi are best friends, so maybe Ak has inside information.
This interview is actually not out yet, but I have the first Kuda B interview.
Really?
That's lit.
What he say?
Here's what's interesting about this interview, and I want everyone to tune in and watch this, because by the time this piece comes out, you know, shout out to my members, they'll get it early, but by the time this piece comes out, his interview should be out as well. So we went into the whole story. He just got out of prison.
Yeah.
He did 3 years total. He did a year, then he violated his probation, his parole, and then he had to go back in for 2 years. Here's what's interesting about this story, because he went to prison for shooting at Chief Keef.
Yeah.
Right? Which Tekashi, based on that video that was circulating, basically put a $30,000 hit on Chief Keef. On February 1st, Tekashi actually pled guilty to all 9 charges. And one of the things that he included in his plea deal was the ordering of the shooting at Chief Keef. And he said that he offered you $20,000 to do the shooting.
He ain't offer me none.
He didn't offer you anything?
No.
Did he pay you anything after the fact?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Zero?
Zero.
And the story has always been that Kuda B, you know, did the shooting, and then Tekashi told on him, and then he ended up going to prison for 3 years.
Yeah.
Kuda B wasn't the shooter.
Oh no, I knew that.
Yeah.
So this is the most hilarious thing, right? Which it kind of reminded me of like even the X situation with the guys who did the robbery.
Mm-hmm.
It's always funny how money gets like, you know, disseminated when it comes to like any type of crime. From what I hear, right, it was like, well, actually, I read it in court documents. Shotty takes the money from 6ix9ine, takes his thing off the top, right? So he takes a little off the top. Then he says, all right, it's not 30, we got 20. And then they give the 20 or some figure like that to Kuda B. And Kuda B is like, all right, bet. Let me take my 10 and I'm going to give the actual shooter the 10. So the money got split up all type of different ways. You know what I mean? Which,
well, he claimed he never got any money out of it.
Of course he did.
Well, that's his story.
Hey, yo, I guess this is not telling because he already did his time. But this is why people can't even say the dude 6ix9ine was not in the streets and he was not active. He was putting money on people's heads, yo. Like, what if they really shot Chief Keef and Chief Keef died? Like, he paid for Chief Keef to get shot. Like, I don't understand what people like. Why are people confused? Like I get it. Okay, he was playing a role, but you can say the same thing for Tupac, right? You can say, okay, Tupac grew up. He was ballet. He was acting, poetry, got in the streets. He was not gang banging, but when he got to LA, he tried to fit in. And, you know, when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. You can say Tupac was trying to do that. But Tupac literally got into a fight or assisted in jumping Orlando because of some street shit. So if Tupac does that and then they retaliate on some street shit and kill Tupac, that's gang banging. So you can say this dude Tekashi's playing a role and he's not real and he's fake and he's not street, boom. But he putting money on street dudes' heads to get knocked off. And the funny thing is, like, American, I would say Black American culture is so, what's the word? When self-centered. Ooh, I like that. Black American culture is so fucking self-centered. They think they're the only ones that is getting shit done or that's heavy. So they say, you want, they make a, they create this narrative of you either street or civilian. They have created that as life. Like, in life, you're either street or you're civilian. Like, what? What are the Russian mobs? What are the Italian mobs? The Jewish mobs? The Irish? The regular white people? The people in Congress? what are, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't, because they would say, are you street? You in street? He a civilian. He green. And it's like, Black people, we have this outlook on everybody else, white. It's like, oh, if you don't walk a certain way, if you don't talk a certain way, if you don't do a certain thing, you're not like that. Where a lot of people who claim street are just playing a role too. They watching what Tupac did, what they heard Snoop say, Dr. Dre, Jigga, you know what I mean? People that have painted the streets in art, and people are playing that role. Because a lot of the kids that's growing up that was shooting, they was watching Waka Flocka, or they was listening to Lil Wayne and hearing what Lil Wayne was saying, and they try to live that life. You know what I'm saying? And the kids today right now is probably watching Chief Keef and watching Lil Durk and trying to live that life. You know what I'm saying? So are they playing a role or are they real street too? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's why I always bring it down to being a man. That's the most important thing to be. More than being a street, being a Russian mob, to being a civilian, being whatever. Just be a man. And when you are a man, you would deal with every situation how you need to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? The guy who deals with situations like a street person is supposed to deal with situations is always going to be limited, because the pathway to the street through the streets is death or jail, right? So the guy who lives by the street code is always going to be limited. The guy that thinks street is always going to be limited. The person who thinks life is always going to be above. The person who acts like a man will always persevere and will always have more access to fortune and prosperity than the person who thinks just street. You know what I mean? But my whole point is, like, yo, you can't just look at life like it's street or civilian. You know what I mean? So 6ix9ine, you can call it whatever, but he was doing some gangster shit. He was putting money on fucking people's heads. This is one story we know. What about the others that we don't know?
I don't know.
No.
You know, I'm not here.
He could tell the truth at this point, so it would make no sense.
I mean, he
for
already did his jail.
Yeah.
He said he never got anything for it. And he basically said the whole thing was caught on tape with the actual shooter, but he was with the shooter at the time. And I said, well, that's a pretty good defense. If it's on tape and you're not the shooter, and they're trying to say that you put it together for the shooter, you could just say, nah. Like, if me and you are hanging out, right, we're having lunch, and you get into it with the waiter and you pull out a gun and shoot him, the fuck I got to do with that? You know?
I think they had way more than that.
Well, here's what it was. They had their star witness, Tekashi 6ix9ine, who detailed the whole situation. And he felt that going against that was just too much of a risk because he was facing 10 to life.
You know, there was a lot more they had on him too. Like, you gotta remember, it's the fans who came in, so it's not like they just came in like, oh yeah, we think you were with the show. No, they had him trying to collect payment. You get what I mean? They also had him on multiple nights because Chief Keef was in New York. He was staying at the W for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They followed him the night before. They didn't shoot at him the night before. He was there. So again, listen, it's one thing if you're like, yo, my Uber driver just starts spraying at everybody on the block and I happen to be in the Uber. Yeah. It's a difference to be like, yo, bro, you've been riding with this dude for 2 days. Like, you know what I mean? Going to the same block that he's going to spray up. You look like you might be a little bit more involved. They have him on surveillance footage, kind of like stalking Chief Keef, like outside of like, it was either a restaurant or like a club. They were kind of like, they were trying to lay wait to see when he was going to leave.
Yeah, I mean, he said that. He said they had the whole thing on tape.
Oh yeah,
but ultimately, yeah. But ultimately, what really happened, which was very interesting, was that had he cooperated and said, "Here's the real shooter," because I asked who the shooter was, he goes, "I don't know." You know, he wasn't going to put that out there. But if he had cooperated against the actual shooter, he had the chance to walk away completely. Really? He chose not to cooperate at all. You know, and he even said that when he got to like his final, like, you know how in prison, like in the feds, they take you to a bunch of prisons and you finally settle at the one you're finally at. He said that when he got to his car, which is like, you know, the area with all the other, you know, inmates and so forth, he said that in the car, who's ever in charge of that group of men, they ask to see your paperwork.
Yeah.
And if you have if you have snitching on your paperwork, they'll tell you got to get out or else they're going to fuck you up. So he had his paperwork with him, which he actually brought with him to our interview. And he showed the paperwork and he said that I didn't cooperate at all, which is why he did his 3 years.
I think the reason why he's also doing that too is that Whack 100 has been on Clubhouse for the last 3 years.
Mentioned that. Yeah, he mentioned
Whack
that.
100 has been saying that he told on 6ix9ine. Which
he told on 6ix9ine?
Basically, they're saying he did the gunner in a sense by saying because he took a plea and he admitted to basically taking money for the shooting, he basically implicated 6ix9ine for giving the money. You get what I mean? Listen, man,
6ix9ine cooperate. No, that doesn't make sense because 6ix9ine cooperated on day one. Like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as he got locked up, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I didn't know that was Wack's whole stance. Come on, man, stop it, Wack, stop it. Because 6ix9ine is the reason 6ix9ine mentioned his name. You know what I'm saying? 6ix9ine put him in a position where after 6ix9ine mentioned his name, he's not supposed to take a plea. Like, come on, man, that don't make sense. Like 6ix9ine told. That's that. He ain't just tell. He assisted. He assisted the feds. 6ix9ine assisted the feds. Okay, let's see what Kuda be saying about Gunna. After this, I'm gonna watch some else. Watching stuff. What? Yeah. I made $80K a year my first 2 years in NBA. It was like working at Kmart. Okay, let's see this.
It's not like we're sending people to the moon, but we act like we do.
Well, what's next for you? You're out.
Job.
You're on 3 years supervised probation. So does that mean that they can show up at your house whenever?
Yeah.
Okay. And they could randomly drug test you?
Facts.
If you get pulled over in a car, they don't need...
Just got to report, make sure none in the car.
But I'm saying, like, they don't need probable cause to search your car because you're technically still in prison. You're just outside on probation.
Fact.
You know, like, for example, you saw, Young Thug's brother, Unfunk. He got probation, and then he got caught with a gun, and now he got 9.5 years.
Damn.
Same thing could happen to you if you fuck around and not take this shit seriously, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say you get caught with a pistol today. What will happen? You got to go back to prison for 3 years?
Hell no. 3 plus whatever they gonna give him, probably like
plus whatever the charge is.
like 9, just how much he got, like that.
So you would catch the same 9 in this situation.
Fact, something like that. Hell yeah. People not playing. I ain't playing with them people, you heard? I won't catch me because I ain't having none. Or
well, you got lucky in a way. I mean, you did get 3 years, unfortunately, but you got through it without getting stabbed, without catching new charges. Because, a lot of times dudes will go in with 3 years and end up with life because they get into it with someone, ends up stabbing someone in prison, or ends up with a phone, ends up with a knife.
I ain't gonna front. Shout out to them good niggas that was locked up. Some of them was trying to keep me out of trouble. Like, I'm a hot hat. I got anger issues. Like, say something, I'm snapping. Couple old heads, freedom. Word, they was definitely keeping me out the way. Every time I try to do, no, you're not gonna do that.
Oh, they stopped you from doing some shit.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Definitely.
That's ill.
I mean, when you look at what's happening in Atlanta right now with the YSL case, and that's a state RICO. You were actually on a federal RICO, which is, I mean, they're essentially the same, but the feds just have way more resources.
Yeah,
like they haven't even started the YSL trial. They're still in jury selection. When you look at that case, how do you feel about it?
I ain't gonna front. The shit is like weird. I feel where everybody else coming from with the gun and shit, you heard? I feel. Because you copping out first. You cop out first, you implicating that we all a gang now. You don't cop. I'm the last one to cop out in my case. I was the last one. But cop out first, it feel like you implicating everybody else. You telling that they're a gang. So it's damn near like telling.
Okay, so you're talking about the Gunna situation.
Yeah.
When you saw Gunna, go in front of the judge, and the judge said, "Is YSL a criminal organization?" Yes, ma'am. Have you seen YSL members engaging in activities in furtherance of the gang? Yes, ma'am. Now,
that whole exactly, the cop out situation. It's like, I like to play devil's advocate because I think like the streets is such a cap. You know what though? It's just kind of like Christianity, right? When it's written on paper, it's so beautiful, but when you have to walk that life, you're never gonna be perfect, and so you leave yourself for a lot of judgment and ridicule. So I understand, but the streets is not leading anybody to anything good. Like, Christianity has helped a lot of people build family, get married, and not get a divorce, and stay with their wives and their kids, and right? That's not what the streets is doing, right? It's putting people in jail or in a casket. So that's why it's okay to judge it and to ridicule it, right? But when you take a plea, like, come on, bro. You take a plea, you are cooperating. That's what a plea deal is. So I get what Wack is saying, but 6ix9ine put him in that position, right? And if he was allowed to take a plea, okay, who did he hurt in that, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, it's still debatable, because it's like, before I was like, nah, Wack wildin', but now I'm looking at it like, if we're really gonna talk about it, if you really a street nigga and you want to stick by the code, don't say nothing at all. Don't take no plea. Don't take no goddamn plea. Don't take a goddamn plea. Don't take a plea. When they ask you your name, say, Don't write nothing on no paper. Like, I done seen so many street dudes, when they get stopped by the police, they having conversations with the police like, it's not my gun, it's this, don't search me, please, this, da-da-da-da. They're talking don't talk to them. Because everything you say can be used against you. Why are you cooperating? You should be mute. Say nothing. Only thing that comes out your mouth is lawyer. So it's like, come on, man. Everybody's human, so the street thing is like, yeah. But at the end of the day, most of it is real. Like, most of it is played out by just talking and in music and storytelling, for real, because somebody would tell you, yo, I'm going to go in and do that 50 years. until they hit that person with 50 years and then they start singing. La 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 la. It was Joseph that had the gun. Like, come on, man. You know? So it's very circumstantial. If you're not in the circumstance, you don't know what to say, man. If they never hit you with those numbers before, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna do, man. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, when people are fighting for their lives, they're not street no more, man. Once the government got you, you ain't street no more, bro. Like when you're fighting for your life, at that point in time, you are cooperating, man. Cause you ain't mute. You got your lawyer telling stories on your behalf. Even if your lawyer is saying it's coming from you, right? Don't you co-sign with your lawyer can't just put out stuff on your behalf and you don't co-sign it. You just have the ability to hide behind your lawyer and say, well, it wasn't me, it was my lawyer. But come on, man. Whatever your lawyer says, you co-sign it. You know?
His lawyer and he himself are arguing like, nah, I didn't tell anybody. You know, I took this plea deal to get out, and you know, they sprung it on me. You know, they tricked me into saying this, whatever. And there's a whole argument going on. Is Gunna a snitch or is Gunna not a snitch?
I don't know. I can't say he is snitch. Then it's like I just told you, he copped out first, so he implicated them. Like if he would have copped out last, they'll never say he a snitch. You feel me? Because he ain't implicated. I don't know. The shit different. They in the state. I don't know. I know the feds, when you take a plea, you gotta meet elements in your plea. So if he did that in the feds, copped out first, I don't
meeting elements. That's cooperating. You are cooperating when you meeting elements that the government set. Man, come on.
I don't know. I don't think they'd say he was right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They probably could have had a cold D meeting. I don't know what Doug told. I don't know. So I can't say if he right now. And I ain't see no paperwork on. I heard that thing though.
Well, there's a video.
Definitely. I ain't gonna. That video is like horrible.
Yeah,
horrible. And you did it first. That's horrible. That's definitely horrible. I see why everybody mad.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Do you think that he's going to go back to being as big as he was before doing that?
No.
Everybody
not gonna fuck with him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a video in the club where they played Gunna and everyone just stopped.
Word,
you know,
I see that.
Yeah, it was going viral.
Yeah,
like everyone in the club
crazy.
just like stopped dancing and just like stood there until the song was over.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Listen, I've talked to Gunna's lawyer. He insists that nothing he said could be used against other people and so forth. And he even said,
"Oh, see, it's
that's what he's saying. He's saying that basically that if he ever got called as a witness, he could plead the fifth because there's always the fear of a superseding federal indictment. So anything that he could say could be used against him in the federal case. So therefore, he could plead the fifth to anything. And therefore, he's not.
But I'm
snitching.
saying in a trial though, so they're not gonna use his plea minutes in his trial.
That's what his lawyer says.
They're not gonna use it.
That's what his lawyer says. He said in a case like this, they can't use the pleas of other people.
Some they can't. Some they can't.
I'm not sure because the lawyer is going to speak to well about the guy who's paying him.
Yeah, exactly.
Gunna claims that he spent over $1 million in legal fees, so obviously this guy's going to go hard. But I don't know.
Yeah.
There's the reality and there's the perception, and sometimes the two of them are not always on the same line.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, like what's Gunna lawyer supposed to say? Yeah, Gunna will have to testify. Come on, man. If they call Gunna, they're gonna play those minutes, and Gunna's gonna have to say YSL is a gang. Oh man. What is Dennis Rodman saying that's interesting? For 3 years before he started playing. Oh, now his sisters dressed him up like a girl. Now, you see, if y'all remember, Dennis Rodman dressed like a woman. Now we see where it came from. Them damn sisters, man.
The idea of having one stream of income just didn't sit well with me.
Them damn sisters.
Well, I remember you mentioned in some of your interviews, and I believe your book as well, that growing up in an all-female household, your sisters, would they kind of dress you up like a girl when you were young?
Oh man, that was so gay. Because I thought every time I see them, I said, "Oh Lord," it brings me back. I was like, "Oh wow," because it seems like there was no male figure. I said earlier, there's no male figure, so they just dressed me as a girl and stuff like that. So I really didn't fall into that mode, because I could have went in that, in the direction, but for some of the reason I didn't do that. I guess something changed in me when I started playing basketball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, playing basketball originally when you were a freshman, you were short. You were like 5'6".
Well, 5'6", 5'7", yep.
Yeah. And when did the growth spurt actually start? Was it like after high school?
No, it was like when I was 20 years old.
That's crazy.
I mean, literally jumped up like quick, man, stuff like that. Every time you put on a pair of pants, they come up to your knees almost. So you put on a pair of shoes, you got to cut the back off to make it like Dave and Buster's or some stuff like that. Okay. So it's like, but it's like, you could have, back like I said, we couldn't afford anything like that. So I had to go get a job and but yeah, that growth spurt was like quick.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. I mean, usually growth spurts happen like sometime during high school, 15, 16, 17, but to have a growth spurt at 20 to go from 5'11" to 6'7" is just like, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's like, that's rare though. But, like I said, thank God it happened. That's all we say, thank God it happened.
Right.
Yeah, he's a magical being, bro. But they was dressing that boy like a girl, man. And I don't know if it's true or not, but well, he wore a wedding dress to one of the games. So I don't know what that boy was doing, because they said his sex life was crazy. So you know what the mean, but we're gonna keep the to the But if you hear the you know the I think that boy was just like a girl. Let me see what's another one. Being homeless for 3 years. Let's see what that's about.
And because at one point, like before the growth spurt, or maybe around during the growth spurt, you were like somewhat homeless, like
oh yeah,
so
I was homeless like 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
that's crazy
and stuff like that. Like I said, it's a trip story, man. It's like wow, it's like hey, it's amazing that happened to me, and wow, here I am today doing stuff like this.
So, an assistant coach at Southeastern Oklahoma State University. That's the person that really noticed you and had you go play over there, and that's when things started to really take off basketball wise for you.
Yeah, it did, but it was more like when you go to from the projects, carrying a garbage bag, I suck it almost.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, man. It was. I think that was like one of those breakthrough moments you have in your life, right? And that's what happened. These two guys came and knocked on the door, and like they asked "Hey, is Dennis Rodman here?" I said, "No, he's not here." I'm standing right there, right? They said, and I actually shut the door, but they knocked again. I said, "Yeah, that's who I am," and stuff like that. I thought I was going to prison. You got two white guys in suits and shit. I'm like, oh man, it's okay. What I do now, So, but there's two coaches from Southeast Oklahoma, and they came and wanted me to go try out for the team.
Man, what's his net worth? Let's see, Dennis Rodman net worth. Dennis. This net worth shit, it never be all the way right. They said $500,000. Now I don't know if that's true or not, right? But that's what it says. It says $400,000. Okay. I wonder how much Vlad paid him for this interview. Let's look. Let's go to my page. My page. We was on Vlad. Let's go to my page. If you see this, make sure you subscribe. Okay. So I just had an interview with Bethany Beans, porn star. If you know, you know. You probably have seen her before. If you've been watching porn since ever was ever, and since was since ever. Yeah, she said a lot, man. Let me see this. Let me find some. And I also did an interview with Charleston White, so you should definitely check that out. But let me start off with this one. So basically, she was talking about. Did you make a lot of money doing porn?
No.
She was talking about porn stars escorting. So essentially, they wasn't making money doing porn, so they were selling their pussy, right? And they were selling it to celebrities, right? Because they were famous too. You know what I'm saying? Because they on camera, the whole world sees them. So they have, these celebrities see them, they want some pussy, and they buy it off of them. All right. And one of her clients, according to her, was TIP coming live from the VIP. Did you make a lot of money doing porn?
No, I did not.
So what kept you in the business?
Just for the escorting.
Okay. So like the escorting, which is like the side business of it.
Yes.
Okay. Was it a lot of celebrities?
T.I.
Oh. Okay. So like he was like a client?
Yes, sir.
Can you say how much he paid? Can you say that?
Overnight. I won't specify, but overnight he kept me overnight. And guess what? T.I. was like, one, I'm married now, so I don't want to like say too much, but
Yeah.
Probably one of the best I had, to be honest.
The best sex?
Something like that. There you go.
So you say T.I. was better than the porn stars?
Fuck porn stars. Nobody cares about that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, first of all, he was light skinned. Like light skin don't really like. Like I was supposed to go to fuck with some white boys, right? And somebody called me and said, "Hey man, like he got nobody in Chicago, blah blah blah." I'm like, I don't give a damn. Like that dude look like a light skin. Like I don't give a fuck. So somebody begged me to see him. Somebody begged me to see T.I.
Yeah.
But guess what? He was like really cool though.
Yeah.
But I didn't think so. I was like, he's light skin, ain't my type. Like I don't light skin plus light skin. I don't like that.
Yeah. But then he was a totally different person.
He was super gentleman. Like I wouldn't say nothing, but I told him, I'm like, I want to be raped, like rape sex type of situation. He did it all.
So like you was the one that asked him like, yo, you want like a rape scene, fetish, whatever you want to call it. And then he just it's like, yo. It's like I remember my homeboy told me like, yo, some girl that he was messing with was like, yo, like she wanna do rape sex with him. And me and him literally was like talking about the situation, like, and we came to the conclusion, no, we worth way too much to put ourselves in that position, especially with a woman that, you don't like think you're gonna be with for the rest of your life or you're gonna bring along in your success, right? Because this is a fetish that people have, but it's like when you have it, is it rape? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at how she talking about it, right? Yeah, for me, it's content, but it's like, for T.I., it's like, damn, bitch, you asked for it, and you were supposed to keep it a fucking secret. Now here you are on a podcast talking about this shit, man. Years later, you know, and you don't want no chick to even ever say that about you, that you and her had a consensual, I call it consensual rape. When I put it out, some people were like, what the fuck does consensual rape mean? It's a fucking oxymoron, but it's a fetish, it's a kink that some people do, you know, and they ask for consent to do it. So that's why it's called consensual rape.
He did it. He was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah."
Was it just you and him?
Yeah, and I had to get my hair down the next day, and then I had a lot of bruises. Um, like it looked like I got fucked up, but that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I like rape fantasies matter. Like that's what my fantasy.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Seemed like T.I. went to work. Um, Listen, man, there's another one that there's another, hold on, where's the video? So first off, I have a show. It's called King Up, King Down, right? So the whole goal of the show, and I'll break it down, right? I bring guests to the studio. It's the king's chair. When you sit on that chair, you got to be fully transparent. When I ask a question and you don't want to be transparent or you want to be PC, you sit on a little chair, right? I'm still developing the show. There's 8 episodes right now. 7 of the episodes was me testing things out. It's still dope because I was very vulnerable and being very transparent. So when I brought her on here, like, you know what I mean? This is the content that we got, you know, which you should check out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Go Gate House. That's my production company. And within that production company, there's a lot of different um platforms that I've created within the production company, you know, and they all have different purposes that they serve, you know. They all have different exhibitions that they hold, okay? But you know, she came in, she was drinking. I can't say everything that she said was true, but she has been in the R. Kelly videos, right? So I did verify that she was in the R. Kelly videos. I know her to be a porn star because before I met her, I was watching her on porn. Okay. So that's you know, but all in all, my conclusion is porn fucked her up. And it made me not, I was like, all the feminists and these women empowerment movements that's so focused on men, they should focus on women more. Like a woman like this, you know, in the beginning of the episode, she was like, when she went to school, her principal told her like, you a whore and people want to have sex with you based on how you are dressed. You know what I'm saying? And people were looking at her like, you know, like a whore based on how she was dressed. It's like, I don't know, but maybe when people call you something so much, you just become that, you know? And it's just fast forward her being in the porn industry, escorting. I think it has taken a toll on her mind. You know, she said to me personally, her body count is like 3,000. And then she said it's like the size of the population of Chicago. And then she said she's going to hell. All of these things, you know what I'm saying? I've had maybe like 3 personal conversations with her. A lot of the conversations, a lot of the things she said she did reveal in the podcast, but the whole thing is that, you know, to sum it up, like, I believe porn has ruined this woman and she's beautiful, but she's not all the way there. And I don't know if it's drugs or liquor or both, but there is something that, you know, she's battling with 100%. There's something that she's really, really battling with. And, you know, like I said, if these feminist movements and all of these women empowerment movements, if they really, porn is the first thing they should want to stop. That's what that's like, get off the internet and go into the real world and get these women off porn. But you know, even after I thought about that shit, I still went and watch porn. So what can you do? We addicted to this shit. We got vices, and we all want our desires and our pleasures met, you know? So at the end of the day, man, the world is the world, and And you just hope it doesn't happen to anybody close to you. How about that? But here's her story with her experience with R. Kelly. You know, she did say to me, like, when she was 16, she'd like to date guys who were 35 because they had cars, and she was lying to them about her age. Like, it's deep, man. You gotta watch the episode. It's deep. But let's start.
So at 17, you was in which R. Kelly video was that? You remember?
So Sexy, yeah, all that.
Okay. And at that time, right? How did you get in the video? Like, did somebody like reach out to you? Like, how did you even find out?
Yes, it was like, it was like something I was auditioning for. Like, it was like Chicago audition. It was in Chicago and whatever. And it was like the whole city audition, and I was like, I'm not even pretty enough to do it, and they still casted me though.
You were 17.
Yes, sir. I was right next door, so sexy. I was with a ponytail. I couldn't even pay for my weed, whatever.
Yeah. Now, you've heard what people have said about R. Kelly and him liking younger women. So,
yes, I heard that.
So I'm going to ask, did R. Kelly try to have sex with you?
He couldn't get it hard.
So he tried, but
I was too old for him.
You're saying you being 17 was too old for him?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, describe your encounter with him that led to him not being able to get it hard. What?
I mean, I was in his house for like maybe a week or something like that, There was nobody there. He went to the gym, blah, 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 whatever. And then he was like, and he had like a weird room there, like this guy, like, don't pee on me, like, hey, sorry, I mean, peeing on me, that's not what we doing here. What I'm saying is, he was a weirdo, but listen, every genius, I think R. Kelly is a genius. Let's just put that. Yeah, R. Kelly is a genius.
Yo, isn't it interesting? Like, after all that she said, she ends it by saying R. Kelly is a genius. And just based on that, like, it's like it tells me that there are a lot of people that will let R. Kelly abuse them because he's a genius. Like I said, I also interviewed Charleston White, which you should definitely check out. He's an interesting personality. I wanted to talk to him, so I brought him to one of my Discord.
Obviously, everybody.
If you go on at Gold Gatehouse IG in the bio, you will see all the different digital spaces or exhibition spaces or platforms, where I create different types of content under the production company. And then you can also join the Ground Voices Discord. Okay, you will see Ground Voices Discord. That's the platform that I use to interview Charleston White, and it's very active. There's people talking every day about what's going on in the culture, what's going on other social audio platforms, social media platforms in general. So if you want to see what's going on with Ground Voices, go to the Discord. Ground Voices Discord. It's in the bio link of at Gold Gatehouse IG. And then Ground Voices everywhere. I have Ground Voices YouTube, Ground Voices TikTok, Ground Voices IG, Ground Voices Twitter. I'm building, man. So build with me. But let's see what Charleston is saying.
Obviously, everybody was on smoke this, smoke that. But when you came out and you was like riding with the other side, like, yeah, I'm with the other side. I'm with Tuka's side. Everybody's looking at you crazy. But then it's like you have to be a man and look at the truth and be like, wait, I've been doing the same thing. I was just doing it on the other side. I can't say this man is wrong for what he's doing. I could just be against him because he's on a different side than what I'm on, than what I like.
Well, that's the tactic that the system uses in black on black crimes. Yeah. They never let the families heal together. They create this divide. So the victim family will always be against the offense. I mean, we supposed to mend them together.
Okay, Charleston, hold on real quick. So let me ask you this then. Are you willing to work with Lil Durk?
No.
So, but why?
Why would I go with Lil Durk, homie, with all the grassroots non-profit people that really need somebody to help them? Why would I go with that nigga? He don't really help people. He rap.
Why would I go with that nigga? Yo, like his inflictions, amazing, man. He's a pastor. Charleston White is a prophet. He's a street messiah. It's like I look at him as an angel with broken wings. Okay, so he wish he could talk like in a humble manner, and people will hear him. But that's not how life works sometimes. And he has to just scream. It's the same way Pac had to scream a passion for people to listen to him. The same way I feel about Charleston, man. You know what I'm saying? There are people that want to get something out. It's so deep. It's in their soul. And when they just say like this, hey, I want you guys to listen. Nobody listen. But when they say, yo, listen to me right now, that's when they get people's attention. You know what I mean? And sometimes they just have to show a little darkness, show a little filth. You know what I'm saying? Cuss. And they get people's attention, and that's when they're able to actually put the medicine in the candy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you make a lot of noise and you grab everybody's attention, and then that's when you give them the sound. That's how I look at it.
Keep them in their lane. Nigga, I really help people. Why would I stop people who need our help from the grassroots? In the communities with the small nonprofits, the ladies at the bus stop, they need us, homie, not them rapping niggas.
So you don't believe
help the people at the bottom. I don't want to help at the top.
Okay, but do you believe Lil Durk when he speak about nonviolence and talking to the mayor? You believe that?
No, hell no. Okay. Homie, if he really meant that, nigga, he'll make a public apology to Tuka's mother.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you. That was like a moment. I think that was profound. I don't think Durk is gonna do that. Maybe not now. Maybe when Durk is very old. You know what I'm saying? And music is not his main focus anymore. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do think a lot of what Durk was doing with the nonviolence is because he don't want to go to jail. Everybody's getting RICO, right? 2, I do think it was for album promotion. 3, I think it's a rebrand, right? It's like he has pushed so much dark energy that now you got to balance it out with some life. You've been the voice of death. You got to become a voice of life also. And you've lost so many people that, you know, it's also become inevitable for him to change, right? And within that change, he's trying to find some positivity and some light, right? But I think it's all for personal gain. Okay, it's all about Durk. You know what I mean? Because if it's not about Durk, and for him to, and if he was very, very selfless, then yeah, you're gonna apologize to Tuka's mom, and you also probably gonna have a conversation with FBG Duck's mom. But we know this bloodshed, and sometimes there's no coming back from none of that. And I understand that too, because I'm not like, you know, pushing Durk to do anything as far as like uniting with his ops or anybody that's hurt anybody in his family. But I think where I ended at with that is that I understand that all of this is for Durk.
They'll go make it right with her first, nigga. That's where you go right your wrongs. And then all that money y'all done made off her baby name. Pay your tithes, nigga. Pay your motherfucking tithes. Cause y'all went to pay other niggas to kill other niggas with the money y'all made off that, nigga. That's what the FBI said. Tuka's best friend, FBG Duck. Make it right, nigga. Right your wrongs. I did. I got to meet my victim family. And here are the words, we forgive you. I forgive you. And I was free. I was released as a 21-year-old young adult, nigga. Record seal, free life, paid my debt to society. But in my spirit, nigga, knowing right and wrong, I forever owe a debt to that life we took. I forever owe a debt to that life we took. That don't go away. No matter how much right I do in life, that don't go. I owe that debt till I die. And they do too, nigga.
Yeah.
So I pay mine in the life of children, in the life of women like his mother.
Yeah, so make sure you check out my interview with Bethany Bands and also my interview with Charleston White. The next person that I want to get is Dr. Umar Johnson. I want to get Dr. Umar Johnson. Is there some? Let me see if there's anything interesting that I want to. This was funny, actually. Glorilla and Fredo Bang flirting with each other. That was interesting. It was funny. That's funny. Okay. Coil Ray. It's probably gonna be the last thing I'll watch.
Question: if you're an insurance agent, how do you start making $200,000 or $1 million or more per year? Well, you know, it's definitely not by working your friends and family.
I'm hearing you've already learned lessons. I'm hearing there's sacrifices that Pops made that you won't make.
I'm hearing they haven't had that conversation yet.
No, that definitely.
Yeah, we haven't had that conversation.
Definitely. No, but remember what I said, you learn about the observe.
You haven't had that conversation. So at the end of the day, our journey, you can't determine our journey in our journey. Right. At the end of the day, it's not too late. We haven't had that
No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm hearing is the sacrifices that stung you as a child that your father made. Time, not being around, not talking because he was hustling so crazy. You're already correcting that. You just ran down a whole list.
Right.
And that list could be titled what my dad did that I'm not gonna do.
Right.
Here's my list of fixing those issues.
No, it wouldn't be tied that. It would be ignorant to say some stupid shit like that. It would, because it's not about him, it's about me.
That's my point.
You know what I mean? Why,
but that's my point. That's my point.
When I figured out that I had issues with my pops, it's late in life. Somebody figured something about me that I could be around people and I could figure out everything about them, but nobody would know shit about me. So I was guarded, but I was a charmer, so I was able to, like, you know what I mean? Be around people and it was comfortable, but nobody would know nothing about me. Somehow it got worked out that all this stuff stemmed from the relationship that I didn't have with my pops. So I went to his crib and I cursed him the fuck out. Like, yo, why I don't know you? I don't know where you was born. I don't know what you did when you was a kid.
Right.
Why I don't know none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here trying to figure it out, running into you randomly, telling you about shootouts and shit that I had, like you my homeboy, but you're not my homeboy. You my dad.
Right.
So I don't know this shit. Well, have you had that conversation? Have you stepped in?
Yeah, of course. I didn't try to buck up. As I got older, I done got, because, my father ain't never put his...
security now, so...
No, listen, my father, one thing about my dad, he's never put his hands on any of us. Like, he, especially me, neither. He just had them words was like, wow, that tone, like, woo.
Yeah.
And I remember I even said, like, one time I had posted, like, damn, on the gram, and he was like, why don't you post that? I was like, take that down. And at this point, I'm just like, resentful. I'm like, no. Because I wasn't, I'm not growing up. I was a little, like, was a little resentful. Like, hold on. And especially at that time, I put my foot down because I'm just like this. Like, you can't tell me nothing.
Wow.
He came. He was like, yo. I was like, yo. He said, yo. Yo? You're not going to yo me. What do you... And, you know, his tone, of course, he never put his hands on me, but the tone was so aggressive. And I knew, like, yo, I could never, ever disrespect him like that ever again. And that's when I realized, like, all right, too, I was so young. I can't, if I'm going to get answers out of my father, it can't be that way.
Right.
Real talk. Like, I had to learn that growing up. You know, I can't get the answers that I want out of him talking to him the way I was talking to him. Yeah, I disrespected him a lot. Of course. Yeah. I disrespected him on some crazy shit, like saying some disrespectful shit that you just should not say.
Yeah.
And I can admit that it was wrong, and I would never ever do it again. And
do you feel wrong about the Eminem thing?
Damn, that's a moment right there. Cause you know, if you know the Benzino and his daughter, like I feel like Benzino, man, he had a moment, especially, you know, me coming from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and him being from Boston and that area. Like when I was growing up, like he was the face, like in the sense of like he was in hip hop, he was the guy that we like. He was the only person. You know, we didn't have a bunch of people who were from Boston that was popping. It was Benzino. And then it's just like, yo, I think the Source magazines, once it fell apart, his life fell apart, and it just looks like he's never been able to pick it back up. But then God blessed him with his daughter being able to take the baton, but then he wasn't able to be a guide, and their relationship just was like in shambles publicly, and the whole world got to see it, you know. But to see her just sound this mature and take accountability, like that's heavy. Like I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that she's speaking right now. I mean, these guys are artists and they're actors too. So I don't know, but I'm loving the energy right now.
I don't know about the Eminem thing. I wasn't old enough to understand it, so I can't even tell you what the Eminem.
No, so more so like recently with Eminem, you don't get an award and your dad speaking against it, and you like, nah, I think he deserves that.
Say it again.
So Eminem recently got an award or something like that. Your dad opposed it. He went against it, and supposedly you stated that you were for it. And your dad didn't like that.
I don't know if that was the case. I know that anything that has to do with Eminem, I don't have nothing to do with those times, so don't involve me in them. I'm my own person. You feel me? Right. Don't do that. Now, like, if it was a situation which I don't know, so I'm just saying, because I'm a ride for my father regardless, because he's my father. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And at the end of the day, I wasn't there to understand. But
man, she had me and then she lost me. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Shut up. Ride for your father. Right or wrong. Ride for that nigga, man. God damn it. You can't just say one thing and switch up in the next breath, man. God damn it.
What I do know now is all that rap beef shit, even just today, is just fucking noise to me. It's just so noise to me. I just think it's just so corny, and I don't pay no mind to it. I don't. And you know, if my father feels how he feels, I wasn't there, so I can't sit here and say, yo, I can't give my opinion on how he feels. I just wasn't old enough to understand those times. If you know, I watched 8 Mile and I thought it was a great movie. You feel me? I can tell you 8 Mile was crazy. That was one of a great movie. He was a great actor.
Right.
I could tell you some songs that I think are fucking great growing up because I'm very musically inclined. But that's all I could tell you. So I'm not an Eminem fan. I don't listen to Eminem, but I do know Sorry About My Mom. So I said, I'm sorry, mama. I'm cleaning out my closet. You know what I mean? Like, and I do know that at the end of the day.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike, and I'm here to get stoned. Today, I'm here to try the Hero Dose.
yeah, I wasn't there.
So if M reached out to do a record with you, would you do it with him?
No, no, hell no, unless I got my father's blessing. Like, I would sit down with my father first of all and bring it up to him. I wouldn't even ask him. I would be like, yo, listen, this is what happened. I'm not even expecting an answer. I just need to tell you right away, because this don't, you feel me? Like, I'm coming, even if me and my father could never be speaking for fucking years. If that was to happen, I'll be like, all right, hold on, let me just tell you this. Let me bring it to your attention. And hopefully he'll be like, yo, you know what?
Do it.
Yeah, like I'm past the past. You know what I mean? Like, what I went through, I'm grateful for who I am. I'm grateful for what it made me. And I love you when I support you, and I support anything that you want to do. And if this is gonna, if this is positive, this gonna better you in any way, then I'm for that. I'll do it. That on those circumstances. But if he says, listen, you know what I'm saying? That's it. I can't say the other side. But if he, if that's because at the end of the day, like, again, I wasn't there. You know? I wasn't there.
Right.
And so
I don't believe her. She gonna do it. And she gonna say, fuck her daddy. I do not believe this girl. I don't believe her.
When you first started coming out, I was so concerned that they say the sins of the father fall on it.
Yeah,
I was like so worried. I was hoping like you didn't catch any residual from.
Of
She
what?
got through that shit.
Yeah, no,
Of
totally. From his reputation, from the people he feels,
You ain't
the
living in
people who
shadow.
feel he
But
slighted them.
that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this interview, and because I want people to understand, of course, that I'm very woke, one, but also understand that I am my own person, and this is what's gonna make them understand. Because like, I really, like, this is what it is. Like, this is my truth.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to speak about it again, and like to speak about it or tell my truth, because I'm healing still, but I've grown.
Right.
And like I said, it can help someone.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. I think she wants to separate herself from her father. It is her father, so she gonna respect her father. But if she has an opportunity, she would not let her father get in the way of that, which I accept. But she has to cap a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me see if anybody in the comment section is with me. She's maturing. Y'all still, yes, she has plenty to learn. Look at what somebody wrote. Eminem don't want a Coy Leray verse, and I'm just being honest, not to disrespect Coy, but I don't see M reaching out to her for a verse. Like, you really had to make that motherfucking comment, yo. That's what I'm getting out the comment section, bro. People just say shit. It was a hypothetical, bro. That shit was a hyper-fucking-thetical, my nigga, and you took it so real. But it's Beto. This was dope. I enjoyed doing this. There's more to come. Like I said, subscribe to Go Gatehouse YouTube. Share it. Go to Go Gatehouse Instagram, and you will see the other platforms or digital spaces, as I call them, where I exhibit a variety of content. All the digital spaces that I have, they have their own themes, and the content is all dope. And overall, this is what I call like the browse, when I browse the metaverse. And essentially it's kind of like I travel through the metaverse and see what's going on, and I reflect and react to it. Okay, so tune in and let's bang. It's Beto. I am